I'm Brandon Hayes. I do a little coaching at Black Label CrossFit. Been doing CrossFit for the past 3 years. I'm pretty competitive, done some competitions and stuff like that, and love doing it. I definitely have to say injuries. They do a lot of articles on injuries. Seems to be the biggest gripe with people that are not familiar with CrossFit. And if you have the right coaching and somebody that's really concerned about your health and well-being, long-term well-being, and is making you practice good form and making you go down in weight, I don't think it's an issue at all. I mean, you might have little injuries here and there, but that's just like everything. You go out running, you go out, you're walking, you can have an injury doing anything in life. So as long as you're well prepared, it's going to cut down a lot on the injuries, any injuries that you have. I'd say it's the same with any sport. You play professional football, you play professional baseball, basketball. You read about all of these baseball. You got pitchers, rotator cuff issues, football players, and how many knee injuries, and for running backs, quarterbacks have the same type of arm injuries. If you're competitive and you're at the top level athlete, you're going to be pushing it. You're going to be trying to find ways to get better than the other person, and that's ultimately going to cause injuries. I mean, in order to be the best, you have to take risks. It's just part of being the best. So if you want it bad enough, there's a lot of risk and for a lot of reward. So it's just with any sport, it's always going to be that way. So.
Community?
Not in my personal experience, because I've never personally had anybody get it, and never gotten it myself. I've read articles about it, I've heard about people getting it, but every time I hear about somebody getting it, it's far and few between. It's a very rare thing that happens. Usually it's normally somebody that's taken off sports or CrossFit or whatever for a long period of time, and they come in and they go all out and don't really have a checkpoint for their body, and they just go past that level of what they probably should be going past, and ends up happening. I guess that's what I've read, so I don't know personally though. It's never been. Not letting them kind of take the programming into their own hands, not letting them go up and weight. You have to tell them, let them know this is what weight you're going to use, because you're the coach. You should know what weight they're going to use, depending on how well they perform that movement. So if they only need to use the bar, tell them that they need to use the bar, 45 pounds. Don't let them go up. Make sure they're hitting the right positions. Make sure you're cueing them to keep the chest up in the squat, or get your shoulders back in the overhead position. Make sure you're using the bigger muscle groups, and you need to constantly tell them throughout the workout of the day, because your form's inevitably going to break down, but you want to try to keep it together for as long as possible, and it's your job as a coach to try to ensure that to happen. I don't know too much about opening up a gym, because of course I've not opened one up myself, but have a lot for somebody that's just starting off CrossFit, especially somebody that's competitive. I wish somebody would have told me from the start. I came into CrossFit thinking that I was gonna go to the regionals, which is the high competition, pretty fast, and I was gonna make all these gains and everything, and I pushed it, and I didn't really know too much of what I was doing. I should have went to the right coaches, and I should have learned a little bit more before I start pushing it really hard. I'd say learn form, technique, get flexible, and find the right positions that's most stable for your body. You need to use your bigger muscle groups than your smaller muscle groups. That's a big problem for me. Wasn't mobile, so my small muscle groups were getting a lot of injuries because I didn't know how to have my big muscle groups take over from my smaller muscle groups, which caused some pain in my shoulders and stuff like that. And it wasn't CrossFit's fault, it was my own fault, going in at too hard and not being smart about it. So I would really suggest somebody find a good coach, a good box that really have good coaches, and really work on mobility, and really tone down the weight and learn form. Like, hit reps after reps after reps after reps, and do not go up in weight until you feel like really comfortable and stable in what you're doing. And make sure you're hitting, like, for example, clean and jerk. Make sure it's not all in your deltoid. Make sure that you have your shoulders back and it's all getting in your upper back and your chest is forward, and you have the range of motion to be able to do that, and then you can go up in weight.